In this segment, we're going to talk about transformers, impedance matching, and safety. Right? And these are going to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and hopefully help you understand some of the things you're up against at different times. Um, so, transformers, impedance matching, and safety. Let's talk about transformers. When you talk about transformers, there's a primary side and a secondary side. And usually you think of it as primary is where your power is coming from, secondary is where you're delivering power to. There are primary windings, there are secondary windings, there's primary current, secondary current, there's load resistance, and then there's an effective load back over on the power side. And so our transformer equations are really straightforward. You've got, here you have basically a piece of metal. You've got wire wrapped around it. You got a voltage coming in. You got a different number of wires over here wrapped around it and a voltage coming out. What's happening is this is basically creating magnetic flux that goes around through this metal. And you can do this in different kinds of configurations, but this is just one of the simple ones. And this is a typical symbol for a transformer. So you got your primary voltage and you got your primary current coming in, and you got your number of windings on the primary side. And then you got your secondary voltage and secondary current coming out and your number of windings on the secondary side. For the voltage, the ratios are the same, right? Voltage, your secondary voltage to your primary voltage is the same as your secondary windings to your primary windings. For the currents, those are opposite. So your secondary to primary current ratio is your primary to secondary winding ratio. Now, if you have a resistive load, then your resistive load is just the ratio of your secondary to primary, secondary voltage to secondary current. That's your resistive load. Well, what does that look like back over here on the primary side? The effective load is the windings ratio, primary to secondary squared, times your resistance. All right, so over here, if you need to impedance, this is getting a little bit into the next topic, impedance matching, but sometimes we use transformers to impedance match. We've got some load out here that we need to match, and the best way to match our load, our best way to get to the load we need is with a little transformer to bring us back to an effective load that's more like what we need. All right, that's it. I'm going to do short little videos this time. And so we'll have another short one on impedance matching and a short one on safety.